Good morning. My name is John Favre. I'm chairman of the State Election Board for Georgia. I don't do interviews and I don't do pressers, but I'm here today, and I want to welcome all y'all to the meeting today. We have some important business to take care of. The purpose of this presser this morning is for this board to come out and encourage all the voters of Georgia to get out there and vote. It doesn't really matter to us who you support. What's important to us is that you vote and that you exercise your right to vote, and that you vote early. Notice I didn't say vote often, vote early. And we want you to get out there and exercise that right. You know, the earlier you vote, the better, whether it's by absentee ballot or in person, but we just want you out there. I am joined today by Dr. Janice Johnson, who's a member of the board, and Janelle King, who's also a member of the board, who have a few comments that they want to make. Dr. Johnson?
Thank you, John, and good morning to all of you. It's wonderful to be here. It's our first press conference, and I'm here today to make a public service announcement. In the past several months, the public, the press, the State Election Board, and our elected officials have become aware of mail delivery delays in the Atlanta area and in Georgia. Although the Post Office is continuing to implement its new processing plans, the Postmaster General says that delivery delays may continue for the next several months. The State Election Board shares these concerns in this election year, that the Post Office may not be a reliable method for return of absentee ballots by mail. We encourage all eligible voters to vote in person, during early voting, or on Election Day. For those eligible Georgia voters that must use absentee by mail voting or desire to use absentee by mail voting, please return your voted ballot directly to the election office. If you must rely on the Postal Service, please send your voted ballot in as early as possible. Remember, the polls close at 7 o'clock on Election Day. Only the ballots that are in the election office by 7 p.m. on Election Day will be counted. Georgia voters who are in the military or live overseas are allowed 3 extra days for the delivery of their ballots. Again, the polls close at 7 o'clock on Election Day, and the ballots must be in the election office. Have a plan. Make sure you have the opportunity to vote so that your vote may be counted. Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Janelle.
Thank you, Dr. Jan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So good morning. In light of all that has transpired and every headline that has been written, I just want everyone to know that I am laser focused on my intentions, and today I stand before you to speak directly to the voters of Georgia. Never in a million years did I think that we would be debating whether we should have multiple methods of counting ballots, whether we should deter illegal immigrants from voting in our elections, or whether speed is more important than accuracy, but here we are. I've spoken to the media, I've spoken to auxiliary groups, I've had individual conversations surrounding the rule that allows election officials the right to a reasonable inquiry. This rule has led to several questions and concerns due to the narrative that the rule has somehow will cause mass decisions to not certify in the election for whatever reason. To clear things up, because I haven't spoken directly to you, county board members have always had the right to certify or not to certify. It is not a ministerial act. It is an option afforded to every board member. The option is present because of the legal document each must sign. This document states that you are certifying the election, that it is accurate, that it is perfect, and that it is free of fraud, and I'm paraphrasing. Considering we have seen board members choose not to certify in the past elections, I am of the thought process that making the decision more transparent and data more accessible would prevent this option from occurring. To be clear, the option to certify or not to certify rest on county boards, not the state board. The real question, I believe, is whether or not this inquiry will extend the certification process, thus breaking federal laws that provide a deadline for certification as a board. The answer is no. The rule clearly states that the inquiry must take place within the certification week. And if the board decides not to certify within that allotted time frame specified by the law, the board would be breaking the law and also violating this rule. Another concern is whether our actions that are being taken are too close to the election day. Well, I find it absolutely fascinating that the same media outlets that are questioning the timing of our decisions also find it completely normal to swap out a presidential candidate 4 months from an election. To answer the question directly, without speaking for the entire board, yes, I am absolutely considering time. But I also consider the job that we have been tasked to do, and sometimes it doesn't always agree. Unfortunately, a few bad apples, a few miscounts here or there, a few double counts will lead to an overshadowing of the great work that many of our election offices are doing time and time again. So this leaves us in a very difficult position. Do we maintain the status quo because it's easier, or do we make a few adjustments so that we can be better? I thank many election directors and staff who have provided solutions rather than criticisms, and the many who are working day in and day out to secure our elections and to ensure they are handled with care. This election year, I encourage you, the voters of Georgia, to truly understand that we are not living in the land of the free, and we are certainly not housing the brave if we do not have faith in our elections. We are not a democracy. We are a representative republic. Our elected officials are chosen by you to work for you. While we all can't have our own personal representatives, we can all hold those accountable. The first and foremost effective means of accountability is at the ballot box. So this message is not to those who benefit from the opportunities that present themselves in the midst of chaos. This isn't a partisan issue. This message, again, is to the voters of Georgia. We cannot get comfortable with some errors in our election process, because today it's a small error. Tomorrow, that small error could determine the fate of an election. We are raising the standard because the right to elect our leaders is a fundamental core principle of a republic. Thank you. You done? Got anything?
All good.
All right. You want to take questions? All right. I guess we can take a few questions. How much time do we have?
Y'all can take questions. I'm going to go get ready for the meeting.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't have much time, but thank you. All right.
Yeah, we appreciate all y'all attending today. We have some important business to attend to, as you know, and hope you'll come upstairs and watch it. Thanks.